Hey y'all, it's Latoya Q. So I'm sitting at the table and I'm just having a replay of thoughts, and I thought, well, let me just start this video. And this is a very transparent, vulnerable video, so I may not look all the time into the screen because I don't necessarily want to look at myself. But with that being said, I wanted to just share my own journey because I help people on their journey of reframing, retelling, realigning themselves with their highest good by releasing trauma. So yesterday I was having a very hard time, and I was in a funk, like a bad funk, for a lot of the day. And I'm trying to use all these tools and skills and things that I know to work, but I was having a difficult time. Meaning, breathing, going in nature, talking to my higher self from even my lower center point, like I'm needing help and I forgive myself and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So the whole day I'm really, really struggling, just completely struggling. And my boyfriend, I hate calling him my boyfriend, but my boyfriend sends me a motivational video. And it's a series of motivational speakers that it's a compilation of all of their liners, if you will. So the liners that kind of ignite you or empower you or spark some type of inspiration or motivation, or even controversial, it challenges, what you're holding on to, and it impresses upon you to let it go. And so while I'm listening to this, I said, I'm going to do this exercise of where I'm going to close my eyes for 1 minute, and I'm going to visualize myself in my true state of being. And I lay down, I close my eyes, and I see myself on a cliff. And it's just nothingness. It's not dark, it's not white, it's not any particular color. It looks more like a cloud. But it's just, I'm on this edge of nothingness. I have nowhere to go, I have nowhere to run, I have nowhere else to be but on this edge. And I said, I'm gonna let it go. I gotta let it go. I gotta shake this off. I gotta get this off. I gotta let it go. And then I catch fire. And not just any kind of fire. Not just any kind of fire, but it's almost like when you hit a lighter and it goes, whew. So yeah, I catch fire like, whew, and it goes out. But I have my eyes closed. I'm just rolling with this vision of myself on the edge of a cliff, but I feel it. I don't feel hot. I don't feel overwhelmed. I don't feel the intensity of the heat, but I see the intensity of the fire. And then something says in my vision to myself, dance. So I start to sway and move almost like a qigong, effortless movements. But every time I get to a point where it's time to shift into the next movement, it's right? And it's intense, completely intense. And I'm on this edge and I'm just like, I can't stop moving. Don't stop moving, because if I stop moving, I have to be aware of I'm at the edge of nothingness. And so I continue to move and go with the flow, and essentially my frequency, my state of mind is elevating. I'm not so in a dark, deep down place. And I continue to just move, and it's whoo, 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 until I feel the release. Keep in mind, this is all in a matter of a few seconds, a few minutes. Not even a minute, just a few seconds, just moving until I just said, I have to let it go. I have to let it go. And the next thing I know, I'm on complete fire. complete fire, and I'm still in my flow. I'm still in my movements. But the flame now is like if you watch a bonfire and you can watch the fire dance. That was me. And I realized that after all the years of working with people who have trauma, I've been trying to do a series of videos and release content based around the work I've done for the last 25 years. And I never would have imagined that I struggled in this, right? This is what I should be excelling at. I've been having these same conversations. I've been working with different individuals with different levels of trauma and different experiences, and I'm telling them. But what I found out about myself is that the more I learned how to work with others and their trauma, what I learned through my own development of character is that I learned to mask mine well, so that when I heard someone else's trauma or when I heard someone else's experience and I try to walk them through different tools and techniques, which do work, but when I walk them through different tools and techniques, it was never about my own healing. It was absolutely about not being triggered, which is completely different. And so I found through this visualization that I had been dampering myself. I had been keeping it almost like a wet cloth over me so that I didn't catch fire. I had been dampened down, cooled off so much that what ignites me, I couldn't express it, because then I didn't want to trigger you like I didn't want you to trigger me. Why am I telling this story? Am I even going to post this video? But why am I telling this story? I'm telling this story because so many of us, whether you are in the space of being a helper or a healer, or you're in the space of wanting to share your story, or you're in the space of knowing that things are going to come where your purpose of why you're really here is going to require you to catch fire and be on fire and stay on fire. The difficulty of expression is real. The difficulty of being seen for your true nature is real. And it's because you continue to use someone else's eyesight and someone else's vision of you to live out in a world that you think you are in. Let me tell you now, it doesn't matter about politics. Let me tell you now, it doesn't matter about religion. I know I come from a very, 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 very religious family. Religion does not matter. Your money will never matter. Your education does not matter. But what does matter is, are you activated? What does matter is, don't let the light leave your eye, not your eyes. Don't let the light leave your eyes. That means don't get so murked down that you are not able to have clear vision, clear perception, clear awareness, clear vision. Don't get distracted, because I'll tell you a little bit more about myself. I had a tendency not to make videos because I'm from that place of, if I tell you, I know I will sound crazy. But I have been a spiritual child for my whole life. So spiritual. I never fit in. I never fit into my own family. I didn't fit into my own community. I didn't fit in. And so I created my own way of fitting in. And in that, I learned so much about myself, because then it was the nuances of others make you reflect on the nuances of yourself. And so I've always been ahead of time. Time isn't real anyway. But I've always been ahead of time, so that I have experiences that the collective experience, I have my own experience before the collective experience. So then when the collective experience happens, I'm at peace. When the collective experience happens, I have so much clarity and awareness of it because I've already experienced it, I already worked on it, I already went through it. So then it's almost like you can be a beacon because everyone now is coming behind with the collective experience. And I know there's many of us who are like that, to where you have the experience first and then it seems like everybody catches up. So let me tell you what is coming. We're in a time and in a space where you think those floods were something from hurricanes, storms, from the weather and nature and the animals, and people think that it's a singular event. We can only compartmentalize in a way, but not see the whole picture that the compartment is in. Well, when you take a step back and you look at the whole picture, you'll find out that that little piece is actually a big part of a series of events. Well, the events are going to stir up. And I want to be very careful when I say this because I don't want to sound insensitive to anyone. If you have dampened yourself down, if you have watered yourself down, if you have not embraced your purpose, if you're not in tune, not just with your life now, but if you haven't caught a sense of awareness of your past life and you are not giving direction to your future life, you will come into an event that is a part of a series of events that will vacuum you in. It will suck you in because it needs the energy and you're wasting energy. Meaning, if you have the ability to be an element, I happen to be fire. I'm also water, but I had to learn to balance the two because either I'm going to burn up or burn out. And I had to learn that there is a purpose for steam. I had to learn that there is a purpose for pressure. I had to learn that there is a purpose for vapors. I had to learn how to work with both elements, more than one element at a time. You need to know how to work with your elements on every level, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You need to know how to work your elements, your elements. You need to understand how to be in control of your elements. Because if you're not in control of it and someone knows how to activate you and you don't know how to activate you, you will be swayed, sucked up, and you will be manipulated. And it may be the cause of death, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, for someone. You need to know how to not only be at the edge, but what to do on the edge. Because you may be out there on your own, not realizing, here's the next part, you can walk off the edge. And if you know how to use your elements, there is no bottom. There's no rock bottom. There's no hard bottom. There is no bottom. But if you don't know how to be purposeful with your elements, you will hit bottom, and it may be a hard rock bottom. You should soar. You should be flying. You should be able to catch the thermals. You should be able to catch the vapors. You should be able to catch the wind. You should be able to catch the water. You should be able to do all those things. You should be able to handle the fire. You should be able to handle the earth. I say all that. I say all of that to tell you that oftentimes we look at things from a place of innocence. Why did that happen to me? I don't understand. I wish I didn't know what that felt like. If I could have only switched how that happened and been something or somewhere or someone else. If only that didn't occur. If only I knew how to be in this, because I don't know how to feel with this. If only. But you need to know how to be an alchemist of your elements. That means you need to know how to take your experience and transform it into your superpower and not damper yourself, not diminish yourself, not belittle yourself because of the experience. I must say, I've talked to many of people who have had some of the most heinous acts acted upon them. And they say, well, why did it happen to me? And I have to say, I don't know. I don't know why someone chose that nature for themselves to inflict on you. I don't know. But I can tell you that from a spiritual, elemental perspective, you have a superpower that needed to be activated, and the only way that you more than likely would have gotten activated is through this level of trauma. And I know it doesn't sound good. I know it doesn't feel good. I know it doesn't feel like something someone should say to you, that something happened to you so you could be better. But it's not about being better. It's about you being authentically yourself. You are supposed to harness the fire. You are supposed to harness the air. You are supposed to harness the earth. You are supposed to harness the water. You are supposed to be amongst the trees. You are supposed to be amongst the wolves. You are supposed to be amongst the lions. You are supposed to be amongst the eagles. You are supposed to be amongst the fish. You are supposed to. And some are even supposed to be amongst the dragons. Like I said, I didn't know how to say what I needed to say about myself, because I'd worked with people for so long to where it was like, you don't overshare your own personal business, because this is not about someone, this is not about you, this is about someone else's healing. But I had to use this platform to share, because I feel like the only way someone will actually hear me is if I'm transparent and I struggle. I have to find myself too. I have to rise to occasions. I find myself alone at times. I find myself needing to figure out my own tools. I find myself trying to figure out my own way, my own journey, my own path. I don't know everything. But this is the time. This is the time. I don't care who you are. I don't care how many people watch this video. I don't care. But what I'm telling you is this. If you are a person who has a soul, who has a mind, who is a being that embodies a spiritual power, a spiritual purpose, this is not the time for you to be sucked in and manipulated. This is not the time for you to be sucked in and extinguished. This is not the time for you to be sucked in and not know how to land. This is not the time for you to be sucked in and not know how to move elements. This is not the time for you to be sucked in and not be purposeful. This is not the time for you to be sucked in and be lost. This is the time that when things happen in the way that they will happen, It is time for you to be fearless, courageous, intelligent, strategic. This is the time for you to be able to communicate without words, without the English language. This is time for you to be able to communicate with your energy. This is time for your work, your real work, to stand, and to stand without you standing next to it. Meaning you done it, you did it, you walk away, and it leaves an impact. It still works even when you're not doing it. This is the time for you to get into a space, to go to an area. I'm saying it very specifically, to go to an area where you know it is safe for you. Get to an area that you know is safe for you. And for some, it is on the cliff, at the edge, amongst the clouds. Because everyone cannot get to that type of elevation. And everyone will not know what to do at that elevation. I'll be very honest with you, and then I'll go. I'm not one to impress others. I have no care, no desire. Matter of fact, I run from the idea of impressing anyone else, meaning I don't perform, I don't put on shows, I don't put on airs for anyone. I really do the opposite. Matter of fact, I come on here, I know in a vain way I have beauty or whatever you want to call it, but I come on here with my hair undone. I come on here with no makeup on most times. I come on here not caring about what clothes I have on, because I know that when someone hears the message, that they will not be attracted to this physical body, but they will be attracted to the spiritual being that I possess. They are attracted to the spiritual word that I have. They are attracted to what is going on in this world that they and I connect on. So I don't do this to impress anyone. But what I will tell you is this: what you see, what these people are showing you online, don't fall for it. I watch people all the time and I say, oh, it seems like they're doing so well, but then they do something. They do something, and it shows that slip. I said, oh, nobody out here being real no more. Shit. Nobody out here being real no more. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter. Because there will come to a point and a place, and I'm going to say this in a, you're going to have to get into your own closet. And when we talk about closet, I'm not talking about a closet in the sense of in your home, in your room closet. When we talk about a closet, it is your Merkaba. When we talk about a closet, it is the sealing up of yourself so that all your energy can flow without leaving, without having a weak spot, where all your energy has different points that it gets to. But you're not seeping and losing energy as it moves. Get into your closets. Know how to move yourself. Know how to activate yourself. This is the time for you to know how to turn on your elements. This is the time for you to know how to use the energies that you've experienced. Some have experienced the hardest exposure in this timeline. Is not so that we can just see where the evil is at, but so the evil can have a purpose. Because otherwise, why would it be allowed to happen? Know how to use the trauma for transformation. Know how to use the trauma for alchemy, for activation. Know how to use the energy for your own good. This is not about reclaiming anything. This is about showing up